Hello guys, welcome back to Striving Aspirants. Today we have another important topic. Today we are going to look into the main difference between a share and a debenture. We know that the company requires funds to operate its business. We have one option to raise capital or the funds by issuing shares. If we are collecting amount by issuing shares, we call it as share capital. In many cases, these funds will not be enough to carry out the business operations. In such case, we are going to collect the funds by issuing debentures. This will be adequate to meet the long-term financial needs of a company. The debentures will be issued through private placement or it will be offered to the public for subscription. So when we collect or raise funds or the capital amount by issuing debentures, it will be known as long-term debt. What is debenture actually? Debenture is a financial instrument or written instrument, and this will be acknowledged with a debt under the common seal of the company. Here there will be a contract for the repayment of the collected amount after a specified period. Also, the interest to be paid by the company at a fixed rate. It will be like half yearly or yearly or whatever specified or fixed in the beginning of that contract. Sometimes bond will be also used in place of debenture, which is also a financial instrument which will be issued to collect required funds by the companies or government organizations, etc. Now we will check the main difference between a share and a debenture. Some of the points are here. First one is on the basis of ownership. With no doubt we can say a shareholder or holders will be the owners of the company. So a share is a part of owned capital. When we come to debenture, it is like a loan taken by a company, and the company is required to pay principal and the interest amount on that particular amount. So it is called as a borrowed capital by the company from the debenture holders. Second point is on the basis of return of funds. The shareholders will be getting a return called as dividend. The rate will be varying yearly depending upon the profits of the company. So the shareholders will be getting the dividend if there is enough profit for the company. So it is called as appropriation out of profits. And in the case of debenture, the return that the debenture holders will be getting is called as the interest. This rate will be prefixed. That will be fixed in the beginning of that particular contract. This should be provided even though if there is no profit to the company. So it is called as a charge on profits of the company. Next difference is on the basis of repayment. In the case of shares, whatever the amount collected by issuing shares will not be returned during the lifetime of the company. But there is an amendment 1998 to the Companies Act 1956, which is allowing the companies to buy back its own shares from the market. In that case, the price of its shares in the market is lower than the book value. This should be taken into consideration while buybacking its own shares from the market. And in the case of debenture, the amount is to be returned after a specific period as agreed in the contract. Next point is voting rights. Shareholders get voting rights in the company, and after the voting, the selected persons will be getting sufficient place in the board of the company. But in the case of debenture holders, normally there will not be any voting rights in the company. Next point is discounted issue. Shares can be issued at discount. But here, provisions of Section 79 of the Companies Act 1956 will apply. It means rate of discount must not exceed 10% of face value. And debentures. Here also, debentures can be issued at discount. Next point is on the basis of security. There will not be any sort of security or any sort of charge made while issuing shares in accordance with the assets of the company. But in the case of debentures, it will be secured and carry a fixed or floating charge over the assets of the company. So debenture holders will be keeping security as the assets of the company. And finally, the point is conversion of instrument. In the case of shares, it cannot be converted into debenture. But in the case of debenture, that can be converted into shares if there is any terms in the time of issue has been agreed, or in the contract if it is agreed, that can be converted into shares, and in such case it is known as convertible debentures. So that's all about the main difference between share and a debenture. So we'll see in the next video. Until then, it's bye from Striving Aspirants. Subscribe our channel and support us. Take care. Bye bye.